I always use one of these two to replace doom scrolling on my phone, where I try to pull out one of these two instead of going to my phone and getting lost in the apps. But I had a video before where I discussed why I think this is such an effective manner of avoiding doom scrolling. In this video, I'm going to go a little bit more into the how we can go about using one of these notebooks. Now, there's a few things that we're able to write within our notebooks. I'm going to go over a whole list that I wrote out of things that I often go to and that you can use within your own notebooks instead of reaching to your phone. Use this instead to quell your boredom. Now, you can write down your goals. Plan out your future, write your 5-year goals, write your quarterly goals, however you like to go about it. You can write about your future in specific detail. Go about goal setting and future planning. That's one thing you can do. Quotes. If you hear a nice quote, you overhear in conversation someone tell you something that's really beautiful and nice. You're reading a book and you see something that's really just hits home for whatever reason. Writing down quotes and then rereading them later is a beautiful, beautiful thing that you can do. Asking yourself bigger questions like, what do I want in life? And exploring just what sparks you emotionally, what excites you. When something excites you comes up, if you see a piece of art that inspires you that you want to create later, you see a topic that maybe you'd want to research more about, a business idea that seems, oh, that could be a really exciting path to go down. Whenever you feel that excitement, pulling out a notebook, writing that down is a beautiful way to go about it. If I find myself in an emotional state that's separate from my normal baseline, I feel a little bit happier than usual. I feel a little bit sadder than usual. I feel more excited at the moment. When I'm somewhere that's separate from just a normal baseline, that's a good time to check in and write about how you're feeling at the moment. Next thing is mini essays. So just pick one of your beliefs, and just like you did when you were in middle school or high school, they had you write out essays, write mini essays to yourself, and then you'll come across new reasonings for your beliefs. You'll examine if you really have good reasonings for why you believe what you believe. And it's just a really good practice to think analytically instead of just reading and hearing other people's opinions. So just old school, like you're in school type of essays, and you could even just bullet point out why you believe something, but writing out, like for example, I think somewhere here I just wrote an essay on why I prefer analog writing to digital, and then I transformed that into video later, and then I just wrote all my beliefs. Why do I prefer analog so much more? And exploring those, and when you start writing it out, you'll end up thinking of new truths that you actually believe but aren't conscious for you. So writing out your beliefs and just writing mini essays about any idea, maybe something you're not 100% sure about, where you stand on some political event that happened, or whatever it is. Writing mini essays about your beliefs is something you can do with your notebooks. Project ideas, you can write out any business ideas, project ideas you have in the future, creative endeavors. Start writing out some of those when they come about. Just having a full idea page. I have let's see, this is some research here, here's tracking. This is just a bunch of YouTube videos, ideas that I have, and I just have a page that's designated specifically for new ideas. But it could be new ideas for your business. It could be ideas for presents you want to give to someone. It could be just having a themed idea page is something you can do as well. And see, the thing is, when you start, at first it could be hard to know what to write about when you just decide, oh, okay, I'm in the mood to write right now. But once you start doing all of these different topics, you'll have all these open loops that you can continually revisit, and you'll always have something to write about. You just need to start and open a bunch of loops and not be scared to go back and revisit them. Weekly plan. So that's another thing I like to do is I will plan out my week. I'll just make 7 boxes and write, okay, Sunday gonna do this, Monday gonna do this, Tuesday this, Wednesday this, and plan out what I think my week is gonna look like on Sundays. You can also time block, write out just your schedule for the day within your journal from 8 to 11, I'm going to do this. From 11 to 3, I'm going to do this. So weekly planning and time blocking for the day, 2 more things you can do. Education research. If you're reading a book or you're just learning something new about a topic, you can designate a full page just to that topic and continually fill in new things that you learn about it. And then when you're walking around, even if you don't have something to write about at the moment, you can look back at your research and really make that research part of your being because you're always carrying it with you. You have something interesting to read about, or it could be a new skill that you're trying to acquire, and you write out all the different tips and qualities and ideas that you have about that topic. And when you're walking around, you can write more about it, you can explore those ideas, or you can just read and really make it part of your being. You can explore your values, you can explore different prompts. I have a different video on 11 different prompts that are really, really good to figure out where you want to go in life and what you're avoiding and how you can just live a little bit better. The link for that video is down in the description. Writing down people's names is another thing you can do. You hear someone's name, you don't want to forget it, write it down in the journal. Asking bigger life questions, tracking metrics. Another thing I like to do is you can track metrics. You can write down a bunch of squares for the whole month, and let's say you want to track your bank balance, or you want to track your weight, or you want to track a habit. For example, I want to film 100 YouTube videos and release them every single day for 100 days in a row. And I have this little calendar right here where I wrote out 100 boxes and I just exit off every time I post. Super, super effective. So metric tracking and habit tracking is a really powerful way you can use your notebooks as well. Having conversations you're avoiding. So asking yourself, what am I avoiding right now? What thoughts am I avoiding? What actions am I avoiding in life? When you start approaching the things that you're avoiding, that's where the most powerful life directing answers come from. So I often ask myself, what am I avoiding? And I find I get very good answers of what should I be doing right now when I answer that question. Mini contracts is another thing I really like to do, where I found it's super, super effective for my productivity, where if I'm avoiding something, I'll write down, let's say there's an edit I don't want to do for a client. I say, for the next 2 hours, I will do nothing but this edit, and then I will write a little line, and then I'll sign my name, and I'll either write a check or an X next to my name if I did it or didn't. It's super, super effective for getting things done, or even for avoiding. Let's say you're trying not to doom scroll on your phone, which is one of the main things I like to use these notebooks for. I will write, okay, I won't use YouTube and Instagram until 7 p.m. Sign my name, and then come back at 7 p.m. and either check or X with this mini contract. So effective because you don't want to be a liar to yourself. You said you would do something, you have to check back in later and check or exit off, and whatever is rewarded immediately continues, and whatever is punished immediately stops. It's a very, very effective way of stopping and starting habits and making sure that you're not procrastinating and getting done what you need to. Mini contracts. So those are a few ways I really like to go about doing the notebooks and avoiding things I shouldn't be doing and spending my time more productively. And these are beautiful things. You'll have all these amazing things you can read about, research you're doing at the moment, habits you're tracking, goals you have. There's so many amazing things you could just read, even if you're not writing at the moment. And then exploring different prompts, different life ideas. There's so many you can doodle inside of these notebooks too, make little sketches. So many different ways that you can go about using this instead of a cell phone. Those are a few ways that I like to use.